If you clicked on this video, then you're probably a member of the Thick Asian Girl Society and a bad bitch.
Saw these niggas steady jocking cause they know I'm the truth.
4 years, I would be so hostile against myself for being chubby, but I realized it was just me simply growing up. And I always question, why do I have so much hostility against myself? But that's why inner child work is so important, because you remember that that person was still part of you. When you really put it into perspective, because the younger you is still a part of you, the more you push her away, it's as if you were punishing her. Just remember, it's not only you who deserves self-love in this present moment, but also the younger you as well and what she wants. Because, by the way, you're worthy of self-love.
And by the way, you are worthy of life. You are.
Do you know what's crazy as well? Your makeup, your hair, and your entire outfit could literally create your identity in each phase of life. Because I recently cut my hair short and I didn't expect it to be this short, right? So basically my hair was under my boobs, and then I cut it, or I told the lady to cut it above my boobs, so like here. But then she cut all the way to here. So anyways, I tried to be really optimistic, but I low-key felt like I was having hostility against this haircut that was kind of bottled inside of me in a way, because it reminded me when I was younger, from 14 to 17, and I had an eating disorder. Like, man, I just remember torturing myself every single day to do endless amounts of cardio, and then it really brought me back to the time when I remembered all the crushes that I had did not like me back and rejected me. And not until when I turned 15 I started caring about my appearance. But then at this time I was also resorting to men for validation of my looks to compensate for blooming late. By the way, I'm 22 now. I guess it wasn't also that, but that was a time where I had a lot of depression and I felt like a failure. But I definitely fit the script with this one when I started becoming more educated about fitness, and I started my own business at 19, and that's when I no longer cared about that validation. I finally allowed myself who I wanted to be, and I no longer needed that validation. I decided not to hide my true passions, my likes and dislikes, and this really allowed me to feel more at peace. But to be honest, despite all of this growth, still inside I neglected that inner child work. You know, I told her, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you do that because boys didn't like you? And I knew that it was normal to cringe, but I projected hate onto myself. Anyways, it's just really crazy to think back, and I really do feel sorry for myself that I projected so much hate. So with this being said, this present day I have embraced and forgiven her, even embraced this new haircut, and even the ugly me who projected hate onto myself. Also, is it just me, but you feel like the need to stand out more in the crowd by being more outgoing with your personality, more extroverted and more funnier in order to be recognized? I don't know, for some reason I felt the need to do that when I was younger. But as I've grown older, I realized that doesn't have to be the case anymore. I can just be whoever I want to be. I don't have to hide the fact that I'm an introverted person at heart, because I am. And also, being introverted doesn't equate to not being confident, because you can be confident while introvert. So for those who are listening to this right now, just remember that you are the main motherfucking character of your story. Despite what others might perceive as boring, you live your life as how it is, as how you want it to be. You're already doing it, you know, your presence is already enough. Now let's talk about growing up in an Asian household. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, and at first I thought it was all jokes. And I kept making excuses saying, you know, maybe they're just looking out for my health. But then you kind of ask yourself, when does it start becoming too much? Because these jokes are getting out of hand. Like, it's not funny anymore. It's hard when that you know yourself you're making healthy changes and they can see it as well. But for some reason it feels invalidated. It's even harder when those words start becoming really harsh and insulting as well. You know, those words keep replaying in your head. Now, even though I'm not 100% there to this day, I can say that On this present day, you know, I do enjoy the process of my fitness and health journey because I utilize atomic habit and accountability steps rather than overcomplicating and punishing. My boyfriend now actually made a good point. He said to me that what I should do is actually confront them and be like, hey, this is actually hurting my feelings. And as hard as it is, you know, talking to your family members, especially in an Asian household, isn't easy because it's not normalized. I tried to do that. I tried to gain closure, but did it work? Unfortunately, it didn't. They were like, feelings? What feeling? What the feelings? The heck? You know, again, for those who are listening, if you're still dealing with this, then don't worry. I am still with you because I still get a lot of opinions and insults to this day. But one thing I realized is my body doesn't have to define my fitness or health journey. So with the advice given to me, I came up with a strategy. Every time they project hatred and insults towards me and they try to use my body against me, immediately I remind them again by saying, hey, didn't I tell you to stop? I told you it hurts my feelings. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're probably laughing right now. Like, it's fucking hard. Like, if you're in an Asian household, you know it's hard to say that. So what do you need to do? You need to try to keep establishing those boundaries. Just keep going every single time.